Let's characterize. Join me for Breast Ultrasound Mass Characterization on today's episode, Breast Mass Echo Patterns. The next step to characterizing a mass is to look at the mass's echogenicity, and this is the brightness of the echoes within a mass. The brightness of the echoes in a mass are compared to the medium gray color of the fat in the breast. Note that this is not reliable as a sole indicator of benign versus malignant disease. The first category of mass echogenicity is known as anechoic, and this is where there's no echoes compared to the fat in the breast. The mass will appear black on ultrasound. This is usually a benign finding, and masses that are anechoic are fluid-filled masses, such as cysts and blood vessels. The next category of echogenicity is known as hypoechoic. This is when there's less echoes compared to the fat in the breast. It appears as a dark gray color on ultrasound. And generally, the darker the gray the mass is, this is known as markedly hypoechoic, the more worrisome it is on a breast ultrasound. Our next type of breast mass echogenicity is known as complex, and this is when there is multiple echogenicities, or levels of brightness, present within a mass. These types of masses have both solid and cystic components to them, and they can be either benign or malignant. Hyperechoic is our next type of echogenicity. This is when there's more echoes than the fat in the breast. The mass will appear as white or light gray on the ultrasound. Hyperechoic masses in the breast are usually benign. Although there are rare breast cancers that have hyperechoic areas within them, you'll know them by their hazy, ill-defined, irregular borders. Masses that have circumscribed borders that are hyperechoic are usually benign in the breast. The next category of echogenicity is known as isoechoic, and this is where the mass has the same amount of echoes as the fat in the breast. These masses appear as a medium gray shade on ultrasound. Isoechoic masses tend to be benign on a breast ultrasound. The next characterizing feature of a breast mass is known as echotexture, and this is how uniformly the echoes are distributed within a mass. Note that this is also not reliable as a sole indicator of benign versus malignant breast disease. A benign echotexture is known as homogeneous, and this is when the echoes are evenly distributed within a mass. It's important to note, however, that large benign masses can display a heterogeneous echotexture, and benign calcifications and/or fibrosis inside a mass can cause a benign mass to have a heterogeneous echotexture. And also, complex masses, which are both solid and cystic, are heterogeneous, and these types of masses can be either benign or malignant. A malignant echotexture is known as heterogeneous, and this is when the echoes inside of a mass are non-evenly distributed. There's multiple echogenicities or brightness levels present within a mass. Note that highly cellular cancers can have more homogeneous echotextures. The next method of characterizing a breast mass is to look at the posterior echo pattern of a mass, and this is the amount of sound wave attenuation through a mass. Attenuation is a decrease in the strength of a sound wave as it travels through a mass or as it travels deeper and deeper into the tissue. Enhancement is the first type of posterior echo pattern that we're going to look at, and enhancement is when there's no attenuation of the sound wave through a mass. This results in bright echoes posterior to the mass. It looks like you're shining a flashlight down through the mass. This can occur in benign or malignant masses, though it's more commonly a benign sign. Shadowing is the next type of posterior echo pattern. With shadowing, there's increased attenuation of the sound wave through the mass. This results in dark echoes posterior to the mass. This can occur in benign or malignant masses. With benign masses, the shadowing is usually from calcified areas within a mass or from a calcified rim around a mass. With malignant masses, the shadowing is due to the high density of the mass, which is stopping the sound waves. Want to learn more about ultrasound? Like, comment, subscribe, and tune in to our next videos on Wednesdays.